Dr. Ceesay with us for some extra time. Remember, we will be talking to a writer very shortly as soon as he leaves the studio. What measures is the government taking to enhance and promote the skills of cybersecurity professionals, enabling them to collaborate effectively with leading nations? Frankly, I believe we are still lagging behind in addressing cyber crimes and threats. And this is from Khalid Salah.
Well, lacking behind, I've not witnessed any major cyber incident.
Central bank?
Yeah, but like I said, even the most advanced countries, they have hacking incidences. The most important how you respond to this one.
Yeah, if it's happened to you once.
Yeah, but it's not like it is happening every day, and we're
maybe we are not being targeted every day. That's why.
Yeah, but you never know. That is the thing.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we are not being targeted. If we were being targeted on a daily basis, maybe every day they get us somewhere.
As a country, and I commend the Digital Economy Ministry for doing a good job on the leadership of the Minister, Honorable Jabi. They are taking serious measures to protect Gambia from cyber threats. There's a cybersecurity committee. There's a cybersecurity strategy. And we are also making sure that with JICTA, the Gambia ICT agency, working with institutions in enhancing but also strengthening their cyber protocols, but also their administration as well. So I think Gambia is doing very good job when it comes to cyber security threats. We understand our exposures. We understand also our strengths and how we can respond to these threats. And I think by and large, we've been very safe from serious cybersecurity threats. I've not witnessed any serious incident apart from the central bank one. And these things can happen in many countries, even in advanced countries today in the US, in the UK. They are always exposed to cybersecurity threats. So we are doing well in that front.
Fantastic. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Can you ask the minister if government will regulate the banking sector? Because all the foreign banks here are headed by foreigners. And are they regulate their mode of operations, especially how they charge their customers' accounts anyhow, and how they pay their junior staff?
But banks are regulated. The central bank is the regulatory authority for banks. So the answer is banks are already regulated by the central bank.
Good morning, Peter. Tell Dr. Ceesay that recently government waived residential permit for Guineans from $3,000 plus to $750, yet still they insisted on increasing the bread from $10 to $12. That is not a fair decision. This is from Mr. C in Kololi, and Gambians are not happy with the bread increment.
Well, I mean, comparing the fees for residence permit and the bread price, I see no correlation there. But like I said, this is a decision by the government to reduce it for our brothers and sisters from neighboring countries, so they can live in this country peacefully, but also be law-abiding. Now, with the price of bread, I think we've had an extensive discussion on this last week, so I don't think it's would go back to this.
Hello, Peter. All what Dr. Ceesay is saying about corruption during Jame days is true. Fuel coupons were changed to cash, and it benefits one, and the ones changing it at the petrol station to build houses. Good morning, Mr. Gomez. Please ask the minister, is it an offense to drive while on the phone and the sender is Mane?
It is an offense. In accordance with the law, you cannot have your phone and then you drive.
There's a reason why he's asking.
Maybe he saw me talking on the phone, maybe.
Well, maybe, I mean, it's become commonplace
like
now.
I said, we all have to
now
take
people drive past police officers on the road and
we all have to take responsibility. You see, Peter,
IGP, you are listening.
Let me respond to that. I think these laws are put in place for a purpose. It's to protect the citizens themselves. Driving whilst having your phone or talking on the phone doesn't only put your own life at risk. It also puts the lives of other motorists on the road at risk as well. Because when you're on the phone, you lose concentration. I need to concentrate when you are driving. So some of us, sometimes, I have to admit, sometimes forced to pick up, but I try to always have my AirPods on when I'm driving. But like I said, we need to make sure that we take responsibility as citizens and not be driving and talking on the phone, because it distracts you it distracts your concentration, and you're putting your own life at risk. The police officer who's standing on the road telling you not to do, you're not putting his life at risk because you are the one driving. You are the one who's at risk. So I think we need to respect the police officers and make sure that we follow what the law says. And the police also have
a responsibility,
the liberty to enforce the law.
The liberty or responsibility to enforce it?
The responsibility to enforce the law.
All right.
Is their responsibility.
Hi, Uncle Peter, and good morning. Please ask the minister why the government has decided to reduce the permit for Nigerians, Guineans, and Bissau Guineans. It used to be $3,500. It's down to $750. In the meantime, our passport is now $5,100. $5,100.
Now, we've discussed this passport before. This was a contract signed by Jame in 2013. And in this contract, it says that the passport must be increased. And it was supposed to be increased, in fact, since 2023. But the president said, no, we cannot increase these passports after COVID. People have other things to do. But now we could not keep it. This is the contractual agreement by Jame. So that was. But when it comes to the residence permits from 3,750. I don't know the reason why. But I can tell you that it's a good move. It is all within all ECOWAS countries. I mean, I lived in Sierra Leone before for 5-6 years. I never paid for a permit there, and I studied there. So in fact, I mean, I think it's a good move. I commend the government for really doing this because these are our brothers, our sisters. We're all within the ECOWAS state. If you talk about African integration, why should we let our brothers from our other neighboring to come and sit and pay permit? Yes, now they are paying it because the regulations they should pay it, but I don't think Gambians should complain, really, definitely. Gambians are living in other countries. They are living in Sweden, in Norway, Denmark. They are not paying permit to live there. So I think for me, please, let's look at the bigger picture. These are our brothers, our sisters. They are law-abiding, and they're helping the development of this country.
Peter, the minister is mistaking the State Guard's budget. The minister is mistaking. The State Guard's budget comes from GAF because they are under the Ministry of Defense unless they are no more under defense.
Well, what I understand is the State Guard Command in State House because they have a special, they are at the State House, they eat there. So their feeding is not from GAF. Their feeding is from the State House budget. And some of their logistics is from the State House budget. So whether they have a budget in terms of their salary might be from the GAF budget because they're employed by the GAF, but their logistics and their feeding is from the State House budget.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. I heard the minister talk about water infrastructure. Well, yesterday I went to NAWEC for water application. I was told there's an embargo on water applications. I was disappointed. How can that be with the only company providing national water service? Can the minister update us on the situation? This is serious.
Well,
water is life.
I'll be surprised if there's an embargo on water applications. I need to find out more. I hope my brother Gallo is listening. But water embargo, I don't think so. I mean, I cannot imagine having that water. So maybe there's something else. But we'll find out what is the situation, and then we'll get back to you on that. Let me just take note.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Ask the minister, why are they deforesting all our reserve for their personal use? Salaji, Kamalo, Monkey Park, now Tanje bird watching. I mean, what do they want? They are doing the same as Yaya Jammeh. This government is more corrupt than Yaya and Jawara combined.
Well, like I said, that last statement, I wouldn't go back to that. I think I've done a lot of clarification on that.
Mm-hmm. But all these reserves that are being, unprotected, if you like.
But they are still protected.
Yeah, but large chunks of them are being given out. A large chunk of Monkey Park has been given out. Is that
a large chunk?
Yeah.
To what? To who?
First to the American embassy until they decided, the uproar is just too much.
Exactly. So
but that's supposed to be to be used for administrative buildings. We were told.
Which administrative building?
What's that mean? What do you mean administrative? Government?
No, that's in Mile 7. That's not Monkey Park. Government is planning to build new administrative buildings in Mile 7 in Bakau. So
what is Monkey Park? You're going to restore Monkey Park to...
Monkey Park is still functioning, still there. The monkeys, the last time I was there, the monkeys are still there.
What about the section of it that was earmarked for the U.S. Embassy?
But they returned it.
Okay, so it's going to...
It's still there as monkey park. It's still intact.
Okay.
This government has this government has a serious commitment in protecting our flora and fauna, and in also protecting
usually sometimes you say one thing here, and then when you go to the substantive minister, they say something else.
Yeah, but my understanding is that, except if there's some information I don't have, but what I understand is that the monkey park...
Maybe you should pursue this with
Rohi
Rohi
monkey
John
park,
Manjan.
what I understand is that the portion to be given to the Americans is being returned, and I'm not aware of it being to anybody else. And what I can also confirm is that the planned government building administration is not in around Monkey Park. It is in Mile 7 in Bakau. That also I can confirm.
All right. A NAWEC staff says there has been an embargo on water application for almost 2 years now.
So it means that if I want water, I cannot get water?
Well, I'm telling you what a NAWEC staff is confirming
like
here.
I said, I don't know.
That's the good thing about this program. Everybody listens, so we can get confirmation.
No, what I'm saying
so there is an embargo.
No, I still cannot confirm it. He is purported to be a NAWEC staff, but you don't know.
All right.
Whether he's a NAWEC staff or not.
The
only competent person who can tell me is the NAWEC DG and anybody who I can confirm works at NAWEC. But somebody just text, I'm a NAWEC staff. This guy could equally call and say...
For the purpose of the program, I will give that to you.
Yes.
Just like sometimes I sit here and I tell you, Dauda Jallo is calling, and it's Dauda Jallo. Because don't forget that I also have contacts.
Yes.
So if I say it's from a NAWEC staff,
yes,
if I were you, I would believe me.
No, but I thought maybe he just signed up as a NAWEC staff.
That's not what I said. I said this is...
It's a NAWEC staff.
I said this is coming from a NAWEC staff.
Then it's a misunderstanding. I thought maybe it says it's signed up by a NAWEC staff. If you can confirm it's a NAWEC staff...
And I'm saying for the purpose of this program, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. All right.
I'm not saying that it's not happening. I said I'll confirm with Gallo of NAWEC.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. I appreciate the minister's calm responses to all these critical comments. If everyone in our country acts like him, there will be peace. Well done, Mr. Ceesay. And this is coming from Mr. Ceesay of Carnival.
My brother.
All right. Let me go to the WhatsApps now. Goodness me. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Corruption is more than just theft. It includes a range of dishonest, immoral, and illegal actions by those in positions of power, often for personal gain. This can involve bribery, extortion, fraud, abuse of power, and embezzlement, which is normal in this borough administration. The recent petroleum scandal is one out of many cases. Corruption occurs when public office or power is used for private benefit. One example is Barrow's grabbing of the Fajara land that was meant for the state. If this government is serious in fighting corruption, how about the $97 million Eco-Lodges case? How far have they gone with that?
I have no idea about that. What I can tell you that I have an idea about is that the so-called petroleum scandal. But Peter, the National Assembly Committee that were investigating this, their chairperson, in name of Honorable, the one from Brikama North, my brother, what's his name again? Brikama North, my brother.
Is it Cheni Jawara?
No, from Brikama North. I don't know why his name escaped me. He's my brother.
Oh, you mean Alaji S. Dabo?
Alaji S. Dabo came out to say the findings reveal that there was no, and I'll underline this no in bold, evidence of corruption, of collusion, so it's very clear. The ministers in question were vindicated and exonerated by the findings of the commission. So what are people saying scandal? People need to see something that's important that people understand. Is one thing I've realized in this country is that many people their emotions are swayed and their decisions by headlines. You say corruption scandal, you're on corruption scandal. You didn't even read exactly what that is about. And I think that is why things need to change. If we want to become better citizens and more informed, we need to be able to read. We don't just follow headlines. Corruption scandal, you're on corruption scandal. You don't even know what that is about. There was a committee, investigated, exonerated. The officials mentioned that there was no evidence of corruption, no evidence of money laundering, no evidence of collusion. It was very clear in the report. So what is the scandal about? I don't even know.
You don't even know?
Yes.
Let's stay on corruption. And there's a big demonstration coming up tomorrow against corruption by the Gambians against looted assets. Gala. What do you think about that?
Well, I think demonstrations is part of political activity. And just like just like voting, just like campaigning, just like praying. Praying is also part of political activity.
Oh, is it?
Of course. If people say that let's meet at the church or mosque to pray for the country.
So every Sunday I go to church, I'm going to engage in a political activity.
Not in that sense. If election gets close, for example, and some people say, well, let's go to the mosque or the church and pray so there'll be peace in these elections. It's still political activity. It means people have an interest in the politics of their country. Now, demonstrations are normal in a political environment, in a democratic environment. And I think for citizens to hold their governments accountable, it's important. And I think the reason why some people protest or demonstrate in a country is to engage their government officials. There are many ways to engage. You can meet them and discuss. You can also demonstrate. So they have a right to demonstrate. The most important thing is we urge them to act within the parameters of the law, have a peaceful demonstration, submit their petition, and then that's it. Like I said, it's normal. But the question one can ask is that what will it achieve? Why am I asking these questions? The reasons they put forward for the purpose of demonstrating are all done by the government already. They want accountability. They want us to fight impunity. Government is fighting impunity. We are discouraging it, and we are taking a very strong stance against impunity in this country. We are making sure that there's accountability. We are making sure that all these things that are being investigations are on. The reason why the first place they demonstrated was a couple of months ago, was about the Ghana asset sales. Government took a strong stance. The select committee is now investigating. That is on. I think we need to give chance to all this process to complete. And if they are complete and government is still not taking actions, appropriate action, then we can say there is a kind of a lack of political will. But all these processes are ongoing. I think we should wait for this process to be complete and we see what the government will do. But nonetheless, we wish them good luck. We hope, like I said, they'll come out and act within the parameters of the law and demonstrate. It's part of political activity. It shows our democracy is thriving. It shows our democracy is maturing. If young people can come out and be interested in affairs of their nation to the extent that they want to hold public officials accountable, I think it's not a bad thing.
It's also a confirmation that the youths are not all happy.
Well, coming out to demonstrate to bring to attention public officials is not tantamount to being unhappy. Some people are happy, yet they go out to demonstrate to show what they feel about how the country is being governed and hold public officials accountable, even though they're happy. So there are people who are unhappy for many reasons. They will not go to demonstrate. So there is no correlation between demonstrating and being happy or unhappy.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Transparency International has ranked Gambia as the 16th least corrupt country in Africa and 98th worldwide, down from 156th in just 8 years.
Yes.
So the notion that this is the most corrupt government is misleading and false.
Well, I love this person. I don't know who sent this. I wanted to, in fact, what happened, I wanted to mention this, but I forgot the exact statistic. That is why I did not. I don't want to give the wrong statistic.
If you
see it.
If you were not sitting in front of me, I would say, well, you used another number to send me.
No, I did not. I did not. But this is a fact. In fact, I read this somewhere some time ago. And I wanted to bring it to your attention, but for some reason it escaped me. And today I was trying to get the exact. It's 98 from 100 and something. So
156
exactly. So we've all the indicators in transparency, in accountability, in fighting corruption. We are doing very well.
That's a 58 place jump.
Exactly. And today, if you go to online and look at the statistics, the most corrupt countries in Africa, Gambia is way, way, way ahead of many. So we are doing really well. It's the institutions. You know why we are doing well?
We're 16th in Africa. Only 15 countries out of 54
yes,
are
but
above.
you know why we are doing well in these indicators?
Why are we doing so well?
Institutions we are building, the processes, the systems, the oversight institutions. So, but this is the fact, Peter. You see, statistics don't lie, numbers don't lie. This is the fact. We are doing well in fighting corruption. And the reason, like I said, I'll repeat this, why today we're talking about these things, and it's because the systems that expose and fight corruption are functioning. That is why we are seeing it.
All right, I'll make this absolutely the last question. I mean, I can't just monopolize you. There are others who want you in the office and elsewhere. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Can you ask your guest why the government allegedly withdrew their support for Tambadu and decided to support a Nigerian? My second question is, why did they reduce the permit fees for Guinean nationals in the Gambia from 3,500 to 750? What's the interest of the government in that decision when they just increased it after 2021 election? And why they didn't do the same to their own Gambian citizens for ID cards and passport? As the Englishman says, charity begins at home. And final question, can you ask him about the headline in one of the newspapers you read this morning, Nigerians and Guineans to be issued ID cards instead of permit? If this is true, why? And which type of ID cards will they be issued with?
No, but you cannot issue non-Gambians national ID cards.
No, it didn't say national ID card.
That's what I'm saying.
Just says ID card.
But what is an ID card? ID card is any card that identifies you.
I'm trying to look for the headline. Which paper
so I think we need to understand it. ID card means any card that can identify you. So does it mean that it is a national ID card which says that you are a Gambian? Obviously, if it's an ID card, it should specify the type of ID card it is. There are different types of ID cards.
It's actually the voice. Nigerians and Guineans to receive ID cards instead of permits.
Yes. So permit is different. The ID card is an ID card that can identify you, because we are trying to modernize this system. But it doesn't mean that it's a national ID card which says that you are a Gambian. That doesn't connote citizenry, but it's a card that can identify you.
Okay.
So that needs to be clear. The issue about the price, like I said, perhaps it is reciprocity, because remember, we have Gambians living in other countries. Are they paying 3,500 as well to live in those countries? Maybe no. Like I said, I don't know the exact reasons why, but I think let's look at the bigger picture. For me, I welcome it. I think we should commend the government for that, because these are our brothers and sisters. And if we talk about African integration, I think the Gambia should take the lead. So for me, I have no issue with that. Now, the issue about
Batambedu,
it's a government decision. The exact reasons why we supported Nigeria and not Bar, this is a decision by the government of the Gambia. So I cannot really go into the reasons why, because I don't know the reasons why, to be honest.
Okay. Just going back to the second question of the last texter, it makes the point, what's the interest of the government in this decision when they just increased it just after the 2021 election? So just after the 2021 elections, you go up. Just before another election, you go down.
No, but
I'm not trying to insinuate anything here.
That's the thing I want to say. I don't see the insinuation. Gambia has very robust systems when it comes to voter registration. You cannot beat the system. Registration was already done in the country. I'm not foreseeing any new comprehensive brand registration again. Gambians have already registered. So I think when people see it, when there's coincidence in government policy, I don't think it's fair for people just to insinuate that it's a plan to rig the elections. No way. Government has no interest in that. So this is government policy that they are going to reduce the fees for if really government wants to really rig elections using this system. You will not even increase the prices.
What will they do?
I mean, you'll get money and pay for their ID cards and give them ID cards. So there's no point in that. And people don't even think along those lines. That's not possible. That is not possible. I just want to assure Gambians and their affairs that there is no interest whatsoever to rig the elections because of these policies. No, these policies are done. One, to make sure that we reciprocate what Gambians are paying in other countries, but also to ensure that the other country citizens who are living here are also given some due consideration. That is it, nothing else. So there is anybody insinuating anything else, to be honest, I think those institutions are just wild imaginations, but I don't think it's about elections. It has nothing to do with elections.
Fantastic.
Yes, the coincidence is there. But on a final note, I don't know what the editor of The Voice was trying to achieve in putting this headline in a manner in which to say that government is giving ID cards to the headline. To be honest, I mean it's really not in the public's interest, and it is confusing. Government to issue ID cards to Nigerians.
Let me read it as it is. Nigerians and Guineans to receive ID cards instead of permits.
Okay, now I understand. I thought it just says ID cards. If it says instead of permits, then that's fine.
No, I just read you what I read.
No, that's fine.
That this texter heard and questioned you on the basis of what went on.
I thought it just says to receive ID cards. That is very confusing and incomplete.
Nigerians and Guineans to receive ID cards instead of permits.
Yeah, that's normal. I mean, I remember when I was living in Sweden, even though I wasn't a citizen yet at that time.
Are you still a citizen?
No. It was revoked before the election.
That came so
because
quickly.
I was expecting the question. That is why I prepared my answer. But anyways, when I was living in Sweden, I remember we were not citizens, but we were given ID card. They call it legitimation. They gave us ID cards, but it doesn't mean we are Swedish. They did not give us permits.
Okay.
The permit is given to on your passport. The permit to stay in the country. That is a permit which gives you the authority to stay in the country. But also give you an ID card. So you can identify yourself when you go to the bank or when you want to do transactions.
Fantastic.
So it's normal. Thank you.
Dr. Ceesay, thank you very much for your time. That was the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Ismail Ceesay. He's back here.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Axel jam si Wave.
Yo, apply. Yo, luta do dede. Luta mo nulo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello?
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Oh, yes!
Wave Axina Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave. Bisul mu fine? Wave. Your money is yours.